The main reason between our achievements is teamwork. It's quite simply, the group of people that are here at Red Bull Racing and Red Bull Technology working as one unit, and that's obviously taken time to evolve, but we've evolved quickly. We're still a young team, and to consider the 4 world titles that we've won in only 7 seasons of competitions is something that we're fiercely proud of and determined to add to. The team's goals are quite simple, is to try and retain and defend both both titles in the manner that we achieve them in. And of course, when you've achieved what we have, particularly in 2011, we've set a very high standard for ourselves. But we're always looking to improve. We're always looking in all areas to try and do better. And we can't control what our opponents do. We're up against some formidable opponents, and but we can only really focus on ourselves, and only when we get to Melbourne will we truly know where we sit compared to our rivals. Well, Sebastian's season in 2011 was quite remarkable. It was a phenomenal year for him, with a record amount of poles, 11 Grand Prix victories. It only one non-finish every other race, bar one he was on the podium. So for him to go better than that is going to be very, very challenging. But as a driver, he's still evolving, he's still getting stronger. We saw that in 2011. I think we're only going to see it again in 2012. You forget he's only 24 years of age, and at such a young age to have achieved so much. I think that as he gains experience, as he gains knowledge, as he matures, he's just getting stronger and stronger. I think on the grid this year we're going to have 6 world champions, and McLaren have a strong team. They've got strong strength and depth. They've got 2 world-class drivers. Fernando Alonso, everybody knows his capability, and Ferrari obviously also being a great team. We've got Kimi Raikkonen coming back as well. Mercedes also looking like they're going to be competitive. So I think Formula One's set for a really exciting year, and at Red Bull Racing our goals and objectives are to try and stay ahead of our rivals, to try and build on the success that we have, to try and build on the lessons that we've learned in 2011 and apply them well in 2012. But I think the best tonic for Mark was to finish the year strongly, to win that final race, to go into the season, having won the Brazilian Grand Prix. And I think he's had a very strong off-season. He's recharged his batteries, he's trained hard, he's come back looking fitter and leaner than ever, and I think he's now in strong shape for the season ahead. This year's car build has gone fantastically well. I think it's the epitome of continuity across all areas, and I think we've designed and built this car in a record amount of time, in a ridiculously short amount of time. Adrian's never famous for his drawings being early, but the design team, the production teams, all the associated departments that go into producing these cars have, they've delivered, and delivered in a fantastic way, and that we've hit our target of being at the first test. So despite the snow over the latter part of this week, we've hit all our targets, and I think we're in great shape for the first test. Well, the rollout of a new car is always filled with great anticipation. It's almost like going back to school after for a new school year, and of course you're keen to see what your rivals are doing. Of course, they're looking to protect their secrets on their car as well. But pictures are scoured over. We'll all be looking at what rivals have been doing over the winter. It's the longest time that we spend away from each other, from Brazil to the first race. So, but we'll be very much focused on our own performance. We'll be looking to sign off the first checks, which our systems checks, make sure that the car is performing and working in accordance with how it was designed, and get those checks out of the way, and then get into testing proper, because we have a very short amount of time this year only 3 tests that split with 1 car between the 2 drivers. It's a very short amount of time and few car days for each Grand Prix driver before sitting on the grid in Melbourne. Yeah, Sebastian is a product of the Red Bull Junior team. He's had 3 years with Toro Rosso, and he's now an experienced Grand Prix driver. We decided to retain Sebastian as our test and reserve driver because he knows the team well. He's technically very strong. He has that Grand Prix experience that's wholly relevant, and he'll be doing a lot of work for us this year on the simulator. He'll be conducting our aerodynamic tests and other activities. So, you know, it was a logical step for us to take him as a reserve driver, not only for Red Bull Racing, but also for our sister team at Toro Rosso. 20 races is a tough season. It's a long year. It's going to be a challenge. There's a lot of back-to-backs, you know, races this year to start in March and finish at the end of November. But I think with good planning, with good preparation, it should be manageable. And I think it's going to be an exciting season. Of course, there'll be phases of strength for different teams. The most important thing is to be consistent over the full season. And so we'll be determined to try and start strongly in Melbourne and finish strongly in Brazil. I'm very happy with where the team is now. I think that, you know, we've evolved as a team, as a unit. I think we have tremendous strength and depth, and I think that we've enjoyed great continuity over the last few years as we've evolved, and as departments have worked closely with each other. You can see in the detail in the car, in the continuity that we've had in our production techniques, in our development rate, in some of our simulation tools, and that all adds up to achieving, you know, the kind of teamwork that we strive for. And so I think we're well set, you know, for the season ahead. You can never take anything for granted. We certainly don't underestimate the quality of our, you know, our opponents. But you know, we're going into 2012 with a lot of determination to keep the 2 trophies in their cabinets.